So James Gunn's Superman was actually pretty good.
Stop!
Thought it was a lot better than I anticipated it would be. I figured it would be at least a crowd pleaser, but I genuinely enjoyed it. Now, though it's not necessarily a Superman movie, it's more or less of a, as the meme says, Guardians of Metropolis style of movie, because of course James Gunn is good at making ragtag teams of members, not necessarily having one key member or character being the forefront of his movies. It's a Superman movie, essentially, but with like a group of people that also are very much so part of and make the movie progress. But it was a lot of fun. I genuinely enjoyed it. But if this is how we're going to look forward to James Gunn's new DC universe, it is going to be pretty quick and to the point because he already said that, he doesn't want to go over origin stories. He doesn't need to see Clark Kent come to Earth. He doesn't need to see Batman or Bruce Wayne lose his parents. So the fact that this movie starts off right off the bat with Superman fighting someone and losing, I mean, we've all seen the beginning of the film. Technically, it's because it turns out it's in the teaser trailer. Spoiler alert. But it's kind of crazy that we're just going to get thrust into it. You know what I mean? Like the next movie, Batman's just going to be there. Something's going to be happening and Batman's going to just show up and fight and stop, save the day. But we're not going to actually learn probably much about Batman or Bruce Wayne's character as a whole. We're just going to catch up with them wherever they are in that point in their lives or in the story. But I mean, again, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, I don't know. But for what it's worth, this movie was a lot of fun to watch. It was definitely, in my opinion, a bit more entertaining than The Man of Steel, though The Man of Steel was just shot great and everything just seemed so grandiose. This movie just did feel more just energetic and wholesome, and the action scenes were a lot more constant, obviously, but again, because you had multiple characters. But it was just fun, right? And again, kudos to James Gunn for trying to take on this project, because no one else was probably going to do it. So, I guess whatever's next is next. But I am excited and very curious to see how the brave and the bold go down, because, we all love Batman just about as much as we love Superman. But so David Corenswet, he was fantastic as Superman. He did a great job as Clark Kent. I mean, it was pretty good. Didn't really dig the whole hypno glasses theory that they tried to portray, but it is what it is. But pretty much Superman ends up going to this foreign country and stopping this war, getting in between these two countries. And because he's not actually part of the U.S., he doesn't, stand for the U.S., he's not attached to any state or country or anything. He's just acting on his own accord. They just see it as like this alien threat. So of course the nations have to get together, and they're like kind of worried because Superman can take anything into his own hands if he wanted, which then in comes Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult, who was awesome. I was very curious of how he was going to be, but I did like his cynicalness. Kind of didn't like him towards the end, but I did like his cynicalness. He was very cool, very direct. I mean, it had one of the craziest moments of a DC villain where he literally shoots this guy in the head. Like, even though he was like technically planning on doing it, it did happen a lot, I guess, quote unquote, sooner than he thought. But still, it was pretty awesome. But he played a very cool Lex, and I give him total props. But so in comes Lex, and now Lex is gonna pretty much get the United Nations and the United States and all these other nations to agree that he needs to take down Superman, and he has this team that could do it, a Planet Watch. And Planet Watch is this team of super soldiers that he puts together, and these people in super suits and shit, and he has this, it's led by the Engineer, and the Engineer is pretty much like Venom, but like a nanobite Venom. But if Venom ever got onto the Engineer, oh man, we'd be screwed. That would be like horrible. It'd be like Venom getting the Green Lantern ring. And so now he has this team that potentially can take down, and essentially does take down, Superman. And of course Superman now needs help, because in this movie he can't do anything himself. He gets his ass beat multiple times. He has the help of the Justice Gang, right, which is Green Lantern, or Guy Gardner's version of the Green Lantern, Mr. Bullcut himself, played by the great Nathan Fillion. Mr. Terrific, who I did not know about, but I found out is actually has a lot of depth to him. Like I think that they should have made a Mr. Terrific movie, if that's like, or they should have done like a Mr. Terrific show or something, because his character has like a wild backstory and all these crazy subplots that go on with his character. So he definitely, I feel like, deserves more than he got, but he got a good amount. I mean, the fight scene with him using his like spheres was awesome, but I was more of a fan of Green Lantern. Nathan Fillion playing Guy was awesome. I just wanted to see another Green Lantern on the screen. It's been forever since we had just Ryan Reynolds. We didn't even get Green Lantern in the Justice League movies. But that's also what the Superman movie kind of was. It was like a Batman versus Superman / Justice League movie. It wasn't Batman or Superman or the Justice League. It was all of them, which is, I know Man of Steel came out first, but still, I digress. And so now this team has to help Superman out of the dilemma he's in. Lois Lane, played by Rachel Brosnahan, who, from what I remember her and really know her from, is Miss Maisel. But she pretty good Lois Lane. She kind of reminded me of the original Lois Lane and like the Christopher Reeves, the first Christopher Reeves Superman. Like she kind of had that same look, somewhat in a way. But she did a very good job, and of course she joins in with the team, and just all these things happen that of course lead to them being able to save the day. But it's not just Superman who saves the day; it's everybody who saves the day. It takes a whole team to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And even though Superman is standing there at the end in the forefront, it really took a whole team to make sure that this all got like everything happened and made out for the best. And even the conflict going on in this other country ends with Green Lantern having to show up and kind of like help out. So I mean, it was, like I said, it wasn't necessarily a Superman movie, but it was a good movie, but it was definitely more or less a intro justice gang movie. But it was a lot of fun. I will say, like, some critiques I had, some critical critiques I had were like, the alien monster thing that's like breathing fire. It came out all tiny, it gets all big. It's like funny that Lex is like, we got Planet Watch, but when this thing is like attacking the city, where's Planet Watch? Like, where, like, Superman has to come save everybody. Where's Planet Watch at? Why doesn't the engineer come out and debut that she's this nanobite mistress? Or why doesn't the team come out and show that they're this awesome ragtag ninja team of, like, dudes in suits? Like, it's just the Superman fighting this creature, which is epic, but, it could be a little bit better. Even later when he's talking to Lois and there's that crazy creature in the background, they had the stills of it, and he's just, like, chilling there with her, and the Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific are, like, defeating this thing, and, oh, man, Hawkgirl was hilarious. Every other scene with her, just, yeah, like, oh my gosh. Oh, I was dying. Oh, every time she was on screen, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, a lot of people are equating this with like Black Adam. I totally agree, because Black Adam had all these other characters that you wanted to know more about that you never will. And this movie potentially could be that. If he never expanded on any of these characters, these could be one-off times we see them, and then other variations or counterparts or whoever may be coming into the next movies. But it was good. I genuinely liked it. And then, of course, I can't even forget, of course, to talk about my boy Crypto. Little Crypto was awesome. Crypto the dog. My coworker was like, yeah, Superman has a dog. I was like, yeah, like I knew about Crypto, but I don't know about Crypto. But it was cool seeing him in the movie as this little super dog. It was fucking adorable. And I will say, I mean, spoiler alert, it was so upsetting to know that Supergirl was in this movie, because as her brother is literally almost being killed and kidnapped and pocket dimensioned and all this stuff. It's like his sister was getting drunk on another planet. It's like, oh my God. Oh, they have no way to like contact each other or send a message or like a telegram or like a Morse code or like anything. She can't hear his scream or his thoughts. She's like, damn. Yeah, so it takes the whole team to like take Lex down and take his whole idea of Superman being better than him and humanity, and he needs to be humanity's savior to make sure he saves the people from what Clark could possibly be, and the whole plot of how that all becomes, of how everyone is against Superman, is so cheesy. But I will say that it was Bradley Cooper. I fucking knew it when I saw him. I was like, that's Bradley Cooper, and they're like, no, it's not. I was like, that's Bradley Cooper's Jor-El. It's like ridiculous. But yeah, their whole message is like, possibly indoctrinated, possibly not, but I don't know. They doctored it up and made it say, oh, Superman take all these wives and like, you're going to take over the world. I mean, I don't want to, half of the people probably watched this movie already. Everyone was very excited. Most people already know what happened, but still, if you haven't seen it, you should probably might as well go see it so we can just get the rest of this DCU from James Gunn out. Like, just let them make them, just to see how it goes. I am more excited for the Lantern show that's going to be coming out, and apparently Nathan Fillion's going to reprise Guy in that, so kind of excited. It seemed like it was more gritty based off of the picture that they showed. The teaser picture just seemed like a gritty take on the Lanterns, but having Guy in it adds that definite flair and humorous flair in it for sure, because his character is just so outrageous and dressed so like crazy that it's like, just feels like it wouldn't fit into that show, or if it's even interconnected throughout this with this Superman movie. But even so, if you want to check it out, I would suggest check it out. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely a fun movie to go watch. I would say watch Superman over Jurassic World, because I think Jurassic World had a lot more just ridiculousness and dumb parts in it than Superman did. And even though, like I said, it may not be like a Superman movie because it's got all these other characters in it, and all these other characters take up most of the screen time as well. But Jurassic World Rebirth was definitely its own thing. It's not even Jurassic World 4. It's just another Jurassic movie connected to Jurassic World, even though Jurassic World Dominion wrapped everything up pretty nicely with a bow on it and everything. So I don't know. Definitely check it out though. Superman, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. post-credit scenes, I wouldn't stay. Just, I'm just gonna say what would have been nice is if Bizarro was in this movie, Bizarro Superman, because at the end when he knocks said villain into a black hole, it would be cool if all of a sudden for the post credit scene he was like sitting somewhere in some dimension, like all deformed because he went through the black hole, and then it turns out he looks like at the camera and his eyes are red and he's just like Superman. Oh, it'd be crazy. James Gunn's just an idea. But yeah, this has been Ghost and Craig. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace, and hey, eyes up here.